sometimes the thing that you feel like you struggle with so much or attacked in is it's the thing people actually think about every time they're like, oh, wow, she's so beautiful.
And I think it's just showing like our worth is not to be in those things. It just has to be in God, because some guy saying like, you're so beautiful, like that's not going to hold you up in confidence fully. Like, that can be fleeting. It has to be and like who God is.
Hello and welcome to the Christians Who Date podcast. I'm Andrea Alley, coming at you live from the floor of my guest bedroom. Gotta have my back support. For those of you that have been following, I have a lot of chiropractor needs right now. But I'm here with two beautiful people.
Thank you. You want us to introduce ourselves?
Yeah, would you like to introduce yourselves?
My name is Lauren Bernique, and I am from LA.
LA, California.
LA, California. Los Angeles.
Oh,
wow.
Very good.
Thank you.
And I am Callie Christopherson from Bozeman, Montana. Here we
Let's
are.
go.
Bozeman.
And it's August, which is crazy. I'm like, how did we get here? We've literally been doing this podcast now for a year. And
over a year, dude.
Yeah.
2 months. A year and 2 months we've been doing this podcast now. It's kind of crazy. We're like a little baby infant.
Yeah, it's true.
We're walking.
A toddler.
We're like a chunky
walking.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah. And we are all the way up to dozens upon dozens
of followers.
of followers.
Amazing.
Yes, right.
We were talking about.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, we were talking about how this podcast is becoming more and more for our teens out there. We've had some of Andrea's youth girls that have been listening to it, and I just love that. I'm like, oh, I love that. We're here for the girls.
That's right.
But we're really here for all ages. And I have made 2 elderly friends, and that's what this podcast is going to be about. No, I'm joking.
It's intergenerational dating. Here it
is. It's here.
I have my boundaries. Thankfully, I have a boyfriend and I have boundaries, but I have talked to 2 men in the past 2 days above the age of 80. Don't tell Daniel.
Precious.
Yeah.
Precious.
I mean, whoever my boyfriend is. Sorry. Don't tell whoever the guy I'm dating is.
I can cut that out if you need to.
I mean, he's never going to hear this podcast anyways. So he's like, I don't need to listen to that.
The level that Lauren does not protect the names of anyone.
So good. It's so good.
Okay, so let me tell you about my 2 men. I like to meet people in the wild.
Nice.
And on Monday, I go and do track. And at the track, there's this elderly man with 2 canes, and he walks around the track with his 2 canes, and he's got to be like 85, I would say.
I love it.
And
so out there, man.
I was talking to my boyfriend. I pointed to this elderly man on Monday night. I was like, I want to be like him when I grow up, because he's like doing it. Like, he's just killing life, and I'm just so proud of him. So then yesterday I was running and I saw him come from his home, a retirement home. He was walking towards the track. So I was so excited. I was like, I got to talk to him. And so I like run up to him and I was like, hi, I'm Lauren. And he said his name and he was so excited to talk. And I was like, I literally told my boyfriend on Monday, I pointed to you and said that I wanted to be like you one day because you're just doing amazing. And he was like, oh, I go here every day to take care of my fitness. And he's like, how often do you run? And so we were chit-chatting and I said, well, I'm going to talk to you every Monday when I see you. And he was in awe that I have run races, and he was so sweet. And so it was really fun. We had a great time. And he was just so excited to talk. And so I was like, oh my gosh, my little heart melted. And then today I was sitting at my campus working, and I saw one of our older professors. And I was like, hi, Mr. Professor. And he came and sat with me, and he was just sharing all about life, just talking my ear off. And he's also above 80. And I think he just wanted genuine connection with me. And so he's just sharing all about his life, and it was so sweet. But he was like, yeah, it's hard. Like, I'll look, because I was talking about, I'm a trainer, and he's like, oh yeah, I think I want to do training. He's like, yeah, I'll look in the mirror and just be in shock that I'm this old. And I was like, yeah, life goes fast. Like I know. I'm like, yeah, life goes fast.
Like, yeah, I've been there.
Lauren in her 30s. Yeah, life moves pretty fast.
It does. And I'm like,
you don't stop to look around.
Take care of yourself. But he literally was like, it just like kind of pinged your heart, because you're like, oh, like you can tell it's hard. Like he's like, I can't believe like I'm here, you know. So yeah. So anyways, I was telling you both, I was like, I'm making all these friends.
So cute.
It's been really sweet.
So sweet.
Also, no name drop, Lauren. Come on. It was really
just to protect their identity. I don't know if they want to be considered old, but they are above 80. So I don't know.
Not identify as old.
They might not identify as old, but if you're walking with 2 canes, I don't know.
You might be old. That might be a sign. Young at heart, though, it sounds like.
Young at heart. They chit chat away. So
also earlier you were like, he was so impressed that I've run races, and in my head I was like, and by races she means marathons. So yeah, like we're all impressed.
Yeah. I know, but you know, I don't know. It means more that he was impressed by me.
That means more than anything.
We're
else.
old news.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
So it was really sweet. My heart is full, but I'm also get sad because I want people to have friends that are older, and sometimes they get forgotten, because I could tell like both of them wanted to talk. Like they wanted to, you know, just have a listening ear. So I was happy to listen. So.
Everybody wants connection, you know?
Honestly, that's
young,
it. Everybody
old,
wants friends.
Doesn't matter.
So
everybody.
Yeah,
it's true.
There you go. So maybe we'll have them on the podcast one day, hear their dating stories.
Yeah, Callie's boyfriend wants us to have some elderly couples
yes,
on the pod.
He does.
So
he's like,
AKA our parents. That would be the funniest.
That would be pretty precious.
Well, Norm and Corlin have had a huge influence on Lauren and I's life. Not so much Callie, but
let's not forget the
really
episode that we talked about being influenced by couples, and they were both talking about my parents, but I didn't. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad.
No, Callie, what it was is we said your parents, but we also shared that our parents have really influenced us, and you didn't say your parents have influenced you. So we were making fun of you.
Yep.
Yeah. Which we know they have.
I mean, I guess, you know, didn't make it in the episode, but they're the best.
Ever since Patrick came on, I've been calling your dad the father of all fathers.
It is true. I'm like, Patrick wasn't lying. It's a fact.
Also, your dad has like the coolest voice. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like the
iconic.
Most dad of dad voices.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, Callie. I can't even do it.
It's not like that.
I know. It's not. It's me attempting. So there you go.
If we get them on here, you'll all get to experience the magic of Norman Corlin. So
it's true. My heart.
It's a treat.
So yeah.
Honestly, it'd be kind of hilarious. I feel like all of our parents are like very different kind of characters in their own way.
Oh yeah. Characters for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Not that we aren't, but
probably people listening would be like, oh, it makes sense now. You know,
I get it.
Yeah, I get it now. That's exactly how they are the way that they are.
Exactly. So, well, should we get into the topic today?
Let's get into it today. Yeah. So we are talking about a topic that I came up with this afternoon. So
thank you so much.
She's so good.
Exciting. I would love to tell you guys that we plan these podcasts way ahead of time, but we do not. So honestly, if you're one of our friends and you are like if you listen regularly and you have any ideas, feel free to text us and throw them our way, because we definitely want to talk about stuff that you actually want to talk about.
Or
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So feel free to anytime.
But this one,
otherwise we're just gonna start calling y'all up.
I was gonna say this topic we're talking about today though is very relevant, I would say, to anyone in dating. So
yeah. So this one I was kind of thinking about, which maybe we could do an episode on this one day too, but I was kind of thinking about like body image is how I started thinking about this. But today the question we're asking is how do you date, like how do you handle when insecurities come up in dating? And we'll kind of touch on like the different phases of dating, because you know they could come up as early as the first time you talk to someone that you're attracted to or have a crush on or have been waiting to talk to, and they for sure come up when you're committed and you're,
oh my gosh, totally.
and you're holding up a mirror to each other all the time. And so yeah, I just wanted to talk through some of those and really just normalize it for you guys. Like you know, you might think like we have a podcast with dozens upon dozens of followers, many people. So obviously we never have insecurities, but it's not true. We do.
Very insecure.
Try to wrap your minds around that.
Yeah, try to wrap your minds. When you have such a thriving following like this, how can you possibly be insecure? But we're telling you guys, we can.
We are relatable. We're real humans.
It does happen once in a while.
Especially being single in your 30s. Like, there's no insecurities with that.
No.
Totally. Yeah, for sure. I never feel insecure at all about that specifically. So we just want to talk through all those, and well, maybe not all of them, but you know, some of them. And anything to add, you guys?
No, I hope that we can like name maybe some insecurities people are dealing with and just kind of just normalize, like we all deal with crap. Like we all deal with stuff in our head, and there's ways to become more secure in yourself. And so there's tools hopefully we can share that has helped us throughout the years, besides going to ministry school, which like changed my life.
It's a great tool.
It's a great tool.
Honestly, sign up if you can.
Go to ministry school. It helped. But
10 out of 10
hopefully
recommend.
you guys can get some tools that will help you get through becoming more secure in any of those areas of insecurity.
Yeah. Well, Lauren, do you want to start on defining being insecure? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think for me, being insecure is kind of like second guessing yourself, or second guessing like the qualities and characteristics you have. And for me, at least, insecurity is kind of like you belittle yourself. And so, or you are just like, oh, I'm less than, or you know, you're not confident in different areas, whether it be your personality or your body image, as we talked about, or your spirituality, or, you know, just the things that maybe you're strong in, you can like actually second guess and devalue yourself, or let someone else devalue it. And so that's kind of an idea of like what I think of in insecurity. And I would say the church doesn't always do the best job of like building up our security or making us secure in ourselves, or like telling us to become secure in ourselves, because that could be prideful. Right. And there's a difference between being secure and knowing your value and who God made you to be, versus being prideful, which is puffing yourself up, which is a false humility. I think like true humility is being secure in yourself. So
good.
Yeah, that would be me. What about you, Callie or Dre? What does insecurity mean to you?
I mean, Lauren, I think you knocked it out of the park with the definition.
Seriously, though.
Yeah, I would just
I've dealt with a lot of insecurities.
She's like, I get it. But yeah, I would say letting doubts creep in, and also just like those areas that you feel maybe weak in. I'd say that's the area that comes up a lot for me, is like, I just don't feel like this is my strongest area. Like I tend to really lean into the areas that I feel like, oh yeah, I feel good about this, and I like lean into that. But the areas that I'm weaker in, I kind of shy away from those, and I'm like, oh, it's no, well, like we don't need to look at that for a while.
Sweep
and
that
then
under the rug.
And then it comes up and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. So Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, not a whole lot to add because you guys covered it pretty well, but I would say for me, a word that resonates, I guess, is like inferiority. Like there's this sense of like I'm down here and everybody else is up here and I'm like behind or I'm less than like where I'm supposed to be or where the majority of people are. So yeah, I think that's like a feeling that I have that comes up is like, oh, I'm just less than everybody in the room because of this or whatever. So, yeah, well, let's move into what insecurities have come up. We'll go like go for like a couple scenarios first. So, do you guys have anything that's come up when you're going to go talk to someone that you think is attractive? I mean, you're obviously both like pulling from the past, but to be clear to any boyfriends listening.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Not still trying to go hit on men. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I talk to men all the time, obviously.
Yeah.
Only
Young,
80,
old.
80 and above.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Lauren, you got anything from the get-go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how deep I want to go into like history for me, but I struggled from like age 9 or 10 with my body image and struggled just with like not believing I was beautiful. And so I felt like I really battled with like I'm not attractive to guys. And that's just how the enemy loves to work with women, is just be like, you're ugly or you're not good enough or you're fat or these things that I'm like, oh, guys just aren't interested in me or they're not into me, or unless I'm beautiful they're not gonna be attracted to me, and then I'm not gonna have a boyfriend, then I'm not gonna get married. And I had these thoughts from like a pretty young age. And so I had to like really combat a lot of I call it like self-hatred. Like I really didn't like my personality or who I was, and I was really hard on myself. I think it's something, honestly, when you have like these deeper insecurities, it's usually actually because you're made to be really strong in them. So some of the areas that you might feel like inferior in is actually because God's called you to be really strong in them. So for instance, like me hating myself, I'm actually supposed to be confident and help other women become confident in themselves. Or me feeling ugly, it's actually because like God's made me beautiful and I'm able to bring beauty wherever I go, to help other things become beautiful. And so that's taken so many years to like figure out and understand. But I just remember going into a lot of things kind of with like really deeply insecure inside, but I was really good at faking confidence and like kind of the idea of like fake it till you make it, which can be good and bad. But I kind of had this outer shell of I'm confident and I talk to guys, but deep inside I was like, oh, no guy's interested, or no guy's gonna like me because he's gonna find that I'm not cute enough, or there's another girl that's cuter or that. So those were like really young stages of my life that I think actually like hindered my dating in different ways, even into my like 20s, because I just didn't see myself as like, oh, I'm not attractive. Like no one's interested, even though I was hoping, like, I hope someone will find me attractive, but I don't think I believed it for myself. And so that affected even like I was always having guy friends, but I think I didn't let myself be open almost like to them getting to know me. And I remember one guy specifically, this was a ministry school. I felt like the ugliest and grossest I've ever felt. That was the word. I felt gross, which is such a crazy, sad word to say. There was nothing gross about me, but that's just how I felt in my skin because I was just so insecure. And I remember him talking to me at this like pool party, and I'm in a bathing suit and I just feel gross. And he was just talking to me, and he was interested in me at the time, and I was shocked. Like I was like, you're interested in me? Like, and he became one of my closest friends, but it's like I didn't let him in because I was so insecure with who I was. And so but I just think that's interesting, is like you might have these insecurities, but like other people can see right past them, but you're holding yourself back. you know, for
Yeah.
being like loved and like seen
Mhm.
for who you are. And so and thankfully God's taken me on like such a journey of that. But I do remember that like affected my early dating of really being seen as like, this is like my validity, like my security is very fleeting. Like it would kind of come and go. So interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So
No,
That made
that's
me think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cal.
no, go for it, Andrea.
I was gonna say that made me think of did you guys ever see Never Been Kissed
Yes.
with Drew Barrymore? Um,
yeah.
so she like is a nerd in high school. She becomes this cool reporter, and then she goes back to high school for like a journalism assignment. And there's this scene where she's like, no, actually, so the scene was a flashback from high school where her like crush, like the heartthrob of high school, asked her to prom, and she like is so excited, and she gets all dressed up, and she is on her like front porch like waiting for him to come pick her up, and I think they like drive by and throw eggs at her. Do you remember that?
It was so sad.
So sad.
It was so sad.
Ugh.
And literally I guess it kind of messed with me. Because I like, so in high school, it's like it's weird being a girl.
So true.
Because
A lot of pressure.
like you kind of, I don't know, around like maybe 14, like you start to get like attention. I feel like that's different from men, and it's kind of like it's a weird, like you're not used to it, I guess. And so I remember like being in a freshman in high school. There were guys that started giving me attention, and I literally was like, this is a joke, like they're playing a trick on me, like and it took me like a couple years before I like really believed, kind of like Lauren was saying, like if a guy showed interest, that I believed it was real. Like I kept thinking like this is some kind of like setup or like some kind of trick. Like I didn't believe that it was real. Which is like kind of crazy to think about. But
Wow.
yeah, it was years before I even believed that like a guy was like genuinely interested. So it's just kind of, yeah, that story that you told made me think of that. But yeah, I think for me, I guess initial insecurities that come up, because this is more, I guess, like first impression stuff. I think a big one, honestly, is that I'm taller than a lot of guys. And so I think I usually am afraid that somebody's going to dismiss me pretty quickly just because I'm tall. So that's a big one that comes up. And then I think it can feel kind of high stakes if you're just like trying to talk to someone that you think is attractive for the first time, because you feel like you only have one chance to make like a good impression. And so I'm usually afraid that, I'll say something dumb or like, or I'll make a joke and they like won't get it, or
If they don't get it, they're a fool.
Thank you.
Lame.
Yeah. Or I'll like come across as like mean, because I've like, I think I used to maybe be a little more guarded, and so I've gotten that feedback before. I don't think people don't give me that feedback as much anymore, but yeah, I think you kind of run through like all the different ways you've messed up a first impression in the past, and you're afraid that that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, I would say those are the ones that come up just like when I think about approaching somebody for the first time. But what about you, Cal?
I was going back in my mind because Lauren was talking about like the earlier days of dating, and I didn't start really talking to guys like with potential of going, on dates and stuff till I was probably like 18, 19. And I was like out of high school at this point. But I think, yeah, even just going and starting a conversation with a guy like that I was interested in, that was a big deal because I didn't even have a lot of guy friends at that point. So I remember when we went to ministry school, that was the first like, whoa, like I've never even really had guy friends, like maybe like a few like at my youth group, but that just felt like a different dynamic. And I think with those guys as well, like dating wasn't even like a real thought. It's just like, oh, these guys that I've known for like a long time. So the idea of like talking to someone that I found attractive, I was like, oh no, like I've mentioned it before, but my go to would just be to avoid guys that I found attractive.
Totally.
And rarely would they actually come up to me and start a conversation. So I was just like, that was just kind of not even in my mind. And then it's funny because you guys have complimented me on my flirting abilities, which very, very kind of you. But I definitely did not have those from the get-go. Definitely had to develop those and just, yeah, be okay with starting at the bottom, just having a normal conversation.
Starting at the bottom.
Yeah. It wasn't like I came out of the gate just really good at flirting, but definitely took a couple years of just having normal conversations, not making it a high stakes scenario because like Andrea said, you can think that, oh, I just have one shot with this person, and if they think I'm weird or anything, then I've lost my chance. And that's not true. I really don't think that's true. But we really make it feel that way.
Yeah.
So
it feels true.
It feels true. Yeah.
That's actually, I love that you guys are pointing this out because I think of a couple of first dates I had where I went like blind dates or whatever. If I wasn't asked on a second, it would like rip me apart. Like I remember that for a couple of guys who like didn't want a second date for whatever reason, and usually didn't know the reason. I would tear myself apart and I'd just be like, oh, it's probably because I'm not pretty or I'm not funny enough or I'm not this enough or this is the, not enough here. And I never was able to like kind of like really just like be able to talk myself through it. Like I usually would go to my girlfriends and they would help me talk through it, and I don't think the right way is to be like, well, that guy sucks and da da da. I don't think that's a good thing to do. Like if you're not asked on a second date, I think it's just being like, okay, for whatever reason, they didn't want to go on a second date. I probably will never know why unless like you ask them. And who knows if they'll even tell you the truth. But I think it's just like trusting like the process of like, I know I'm amazing. You have to like pump yourself up and like someone is gonna match with me and like we're gonna date and like get to know each other. And but I think I would like let it be like a huge deal if I wasn't asked on a second date. And that happened quite a few times, especially in my 20s, of like not being asked on a second. And I would just be like, oh my gosh, I suck. And it's like, no, you don't. You just got to date. Like you got to keep dating. It's not personal.
No.
Yeah.
Something you said, Lauren, reminded me of a scenario of mine where I really liked this guy. He was kind of interested in me for a while, and then we decided to just be friends, but I still kind of liked him. And I watched him pursue other girls, and for me it was like a confirmation of like, oh, well, she's really good at this thing and I'm not good at this thing.
Yep.
And oh, I'm to this, I'm not enough of that. And it was like any girl he liked, I would be like, oh, well, that's why he doesn't like me. And therefore I'm not enough or I'm too much in these areas. And I think that's what insecurity does, is like it tells you you're either too much or you're not enough always.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's never ending. And if you feed insecurity, it will have such a loud voice in your life and hinder you from like really good relationships. Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. When honestly, like, even if a guy comes up and he's like kind of goofy, like as long as he owns it, I think it's so like, it's like you could look a lot of different ways. I think it's really about owning whatever you have, like if you're kind of quirky and you own it, that's super attractive. If you tell dad jokes and you own that, like it's attractive.
Yeah. It's so true.
So yeah. And I think people who take risks themselves, are very gracious when they can tell that you're taking a risk, if that makes sense. Like, I think if you're a risk taker, you honor the risk in other people. If you don't take a lot of risks, you might be kind of judgy if somebody like takes a risk on you and messes it up. But that's, you know, probably not the kind of person you want to be with anyway, because why aren't they taking any risks?
Yeah. And I think there's like a difference of like insecure versus, because there's insecure people that take risk, but like you can tell the difference when someone's secure in themselves. Like they're not trying to be anybody else. They're not trying to put on a show. They're not trying to be a different persona. They're just like you said, owning who they are. And there's something really powerful and authentic about that. And I think that's like a never ending process, because it's like you could be like really confident in one area and then something could happen relationally and then you're all insecure for whatever XYZ reason, you know, because different things even can come up in like more serious relationships. Things can come up in your marriage like that would make you insecure. And so which I know we'll touch a little bit more on that of like insecurities and how we've like walked through them. So
well, there might be some overlap here, but the next question was, do you have any insecurities that have come up specifically on like a first date, when you're going on a date with someone for the first time?
I think two different ones I've had that I've also like I dealt with in dating. One of them early on was like more like my sexuality and like my attractiveness, and would they accept like my boundaries? Like if we like, do we have to kiss on the first date or not? Like, you know, so I'd have like those things in my head of like just my boundaries, maybe being a little bit insecure, but I'm pretty firm in them and more confident, but just kind of like, are they going to be okay with like the boundaries I have? And then the other one was always a little bit of insecurity about my faith, because it's like I am very just bold in my faith, and I'm like, okay, or this is for some people, they're not gonna like it, and that means we're not gonna go on another date. So it'd be harder a little bit if it was someone I was interested in and I would share about my faith, and I could tell like, okay, we're not clicking in these areas of my faith, and so it would be a deterrent for going on like another one. And so that's something where I've always been like pleasantly surprised, like my boyfriend now, me sharing about my faith, and he was kind of on a different faith journey at the time. Now we're like really aligned, but I was like, I don't know, I don't think we'll probably date at the time, because, you know, I'm like, here I am, here's my faith, like this is where I'm at with Jesus. So it can bring a little bit like, this will be interesting. So
mine, I don't know if this is necessarily like first date, but it was, you know, the case that I had never had a boyfriend before. And usually when people found that out, they were kind of like, you know, wouldn't necessarily say this, but some people will think like, okay, well, what's wrong? Or like, why is that the case? And I'm like, there's no real reason. Like, you can, like, for me, just nothing had really worked out. There were several people that I would have dated, but for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. And so, that was something that I was kind of like, not necessarily an insecurity for me, but like, what would it do to the conversation or like the potential of what was in front of me? So, yeah,
that's a good one.
Andrea?
Those are both good. I think I've had similar ones with faith for sure, because even like being charismatic and not like Presbyterian has been a big topic. That's been a big topic. Honestly, I've gotten more direct rejections because of that than
especially online
anything else. Especially online. And so that is kind of I don't know if that it's a necessarily like an insecurity, but it is like something I get nervous about bringing up, just because you're like, this might kill the conversation.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's been one of mine too.
Yeah. And it is, it's just that like, okay, I feel good about where I'm at, but I just don't know how you're going to receive it. And I've had guys literally like, kind of try to talk me out of it sometimes. And so I think that element too of it, like, man, I don't feel like being lectured about it today. Like,
Yeah.
People lecture me on this every day.
yeah, like, I'm like, man, yeah. So I think I can even come across a little feisty on that sometimes, because I'm like, no, don't try to talk me into like your version of Christianity or whatever.
Convert me.
Yeah, don't try to convert me into another church.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think what other ones. Height again, if I haven't met them before, because guys have also made comments about that. So I think whatever somebody has like commented on or dismissed you because of in the past, I think it's pretty normal for that to just kind of be in the back of your head, like, oh, I hope that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else.
I can share one, Dre.
Yeah, go for it.
Thinking one that has popped up in my 30s has been my age. With dating guys. And specifically, it sounds intense, but this is what goes on in my brain is I'm like, oh, he's not going to want to date me because he wants to date someone younger so that he has more opportunity to have like more kids or a family.
Yeah.
Because the older I get, like the less chance I can have as many kids or, it's not like fertility wise. Like, so I've like had to deal with that insecurity of like, yeah, I'm old, like in my brain for having kids. And it really, I am. I'm 36. Like I still want to have 2 kids as my goal or 3. Wow, that'd be crazy. But you do the timeline. I'm like, oh, like it's becoming less and less of that timeline to have kids. And of course people are like, you can foster, you can adopt, you can save your eggs. I'm like, okay, that's like between me and my husband. But like at the same time, there's this like thing in you that's like, oh yeah, like, you feel a little bit less than, and it's so out of your control. And so that can bring like a little bit of, whoa, this is like some stuff that's like, dating and getting married and all that. There's like some elements that are out of my control of the timing that I've had to kind of like face in my 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely had that one too. I think the closer you get to like 35 and then 40, I think that one starts to come up.
Yeah.
So I've had that one too. And it's kind of a weird like age where like I've talked to like 24-year-old guys and not realized they're 10 years younger than me until they like say something. And you're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize we were a decade apart.
It is a wild town.
It's so, yeah, it's really wild. And then you're like, I'm sorry, like I'm not a cougar. So
you're like, I look younger and you look older. So
yeah,
I was confused.
But yeah.
Everyone, we look at their ID. We're like, how old are you?
Yeah. But no, the kids thing is real. You're like, oh, I'm competing with these girls who are like 26 or whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like one more I thought of while you were talking about that with one that's come up for me is I think in my head guys want like a really bubbly personality, and I'm a lot more like just calm and really dry,
very
humor.
Peaceful.
Yeah, more of a peaceful presence.
You're pretty funny. You're pretty funny.
You're so funny and feisty. She gets feisty.
It's true, but I think like from the jump, I'm usually more like chill. I'll just come in with like questions, and people don't get to see like that part of my personality until they earn it a little bit. And so
that's right.
I like it that way.
Yeah. Or like I've never been one to be like just super flirty like off the bat. Like, I don't know. If I'm insulting you, I probably like you. That's me trying to flirt.
Yep. She's a mystery box.
But yeah, but I think it's cool. It is nice. The nice thing about age is you talk to enough people where you're like, actually, some guys are like, they like the cool kind of like mystery of the introverted girl.
I honestly think what it is because, okay, facts. Andrea has been asked on like, it's guaranteed like this past year or so when she's gone on a date, we all know she's gonna be asked on another date or another date and another date. She's the one that has to end these things. And I'm like, what the heck? How do you do this? And I literally think it's because Andrea has gone through the work of like dealing with her insecurities and she has become confident in who she is. And that's the most attractive thing. If you can work through your insecurities and just become secure and like authentically who God made you to be, I think it's like you'll be unstoppable when it comes to dating because it's like you're not going to be set back by someone saying no to you. But I don't know. I'm like, dude, your track, every guy is like, please, can we go on another date? And I'm like, it's totally because you've like owned who you are. And so, well, and also you're like super cute and da da da. But her fashion's on point too.
Yep.
She's moved on to Madewell from Old Navy. So
upgrade.
But yeah, so I just think there's something to that, right? Is like addressing your insecurities. If you're like not getting dates, like think about that. Like go after those things. Don't wait for that guy to fix those. He will repel him.
Yeah, for sure. I do think too, like after you've gone on enough dates, you can kind of approach it with this like playfulness that is really helpful. Like, because you're just like, we're just hanging out and you like learn how to, just like be playful about it. Like, it's supposed to be fun. And if it doesn't go anywhere, like, that's fine. And if you can just lower the stakes like we've talked about before. But it gets a lot easier if you can do that because otherwise you kind of psych yourself out. I think that's what I used to do. I used to psych myself out. And now I'm like, you know what? If this one doesn't work out, another one will come along. So,
That's good.
Okay. I would love to hear what's one insecurity that you have been able to overcome since Lauren was just kind of talking about this. And like walk us through maybe what that looked like.
I have one I'm thinking of. I have not overcome this one, but I'm working on it, which is, all we can do sometimes. So let's see, how do I start it? Basically, I've been someone who's I've never liked to be bad at things. And so growing up, my solution to not being bad at things was to just not do them, which is so dumb. So I wouldn't do a lot of things because I was like, I'm probably not going to be good at it. And I don't want to look like foolish doing it.
Yeah.
And so I just really didn't do a lot of like sports or things like other people wanted to do because I'm like, oh, look dumb. And like that would, be the worst thing possible. And so it's actually felt like a lot of my like 20s and 30s have actually been like leaning into that and being like, it's okay. Like if I don't know what I'm doing, it's because I don't. I'm a beginner, and that's actually that's the expectation. Because I think I would set the expectation as like, oh, I have to be like really good coming in, and it's like, no, you're a beginner. You can suck for like a while if you need to.
Yeah.
And so currently, my boyfriend has always loved sports and like playing all the things, and so he's like, oh, we should play pickleball, which Andrea's go-to. And
Callie, have you been playing pickleball?
I've been attempting.
Oh my goodness, I'm just now hearing about this.
I know, because it's my insecurity, Andrea.
Oh my gosh.
This is a spoiler alert.
I feel like Lauren when you said that you started working out.
I know.
My gosh.
I know.
There's
all the things.
A lot's changing.
So much. I'm just a whole new woman over here.
I'm so proud.
But started playing pickleball, and I really struggle with serving in particular. So my boyfriend's so sweet, and he's just like, okay, let's go practice that. And so he took me to the courts the other day, and we just like worked on that for like, I don't know, an hour, maybe hour and a half.
So
and
sweet.
It was so nice too, because something for me that I'm like, oh, this is what I would look for in somebody, is someone who's patient and can like take time with me to work on stuff. And especially at something he's good at, because I'm like, oh, you could just be like, oh, come on, like, why can't you get this? Or like just dismiss me. But he just like took the time, and, you know, I'd make a little bit of progress, and he's like, great job. Like, so encouraging, very genuine. And I'm like, great. And he's just been like super kind, really good teacher. And I'm like, I really value that in somebody, and just makes me feel like it's okay to be where I'm at. And, you know, I'm slowly improving, and I'm getting over myself and where I think I should be. And I'm also just having fun. Like, I'm not letting it be like, oh, shoot, like I'm so bad at this or stressed out about it. I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. And so I'm going to treat it like as such, and just enjoy the process and not be hard on myself. So it's been a big thing. And
so
like I said, I've actually made a lot of decisions like that in the last couple of years. Like, I did acting school, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And like, I've just said some big yeses to things that I'm like, I have a little bit of interest in this. I don't know if I have a lot of skill, but I'm willing to look foolish to do something that I really love, or I think I love. So yeah.
We bought longboards.
Yes, we did.
Ooh, terrifying.
I did it
We
once.
were both total beginners.
I definitely stopped longboarding once I saw a guy gash the back of his head open with YWAM.
Oh,
Remember
wow.
Daniel?
Gosh,
Our friend Daniel?
Not your boyfriend,
I still
Daniel?
longboarded after that.
No, another Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel, and that's a.
We don't have to say his
other name. I'm so bad. I'm like, everyone needs to know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, she's like, they won't get it.
Daniel, I feel like everyone in our DTS remembers that, though. It was bad.
Terrifying.
He had to like
he was so bloody. Anyways, I was like, I'm never longboarding again. But he did go longboarding without a helmet down a massive hill, like
he like
crazy hill. So he bombed it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Dude. Anyways, maybe that's an insecurity for him now. Probably not.
He's doing great.
I think he's probably thriving.
Yeah. No, seriously, he is. Okay, so I'd say my thorn in my side has always been body image and like feeling attractive to men, and that is just something I've dealt with since I was like little, and that's kind of been my fight to be secure in my body, be secure in my image, and just really work through self-hatred. And that probably had to do a lot with like my family dynamics growing up. It's like I turned inward to deal with all the chaos around me, you know, if we're going to psychoanalyze this. But I think a lot of people deal with insecurity of their body and feeling attractive. And it's honestly more common than not, but I think we don't talk about it. And our society is very image conscious. Like, your worth is in your image. But then the church is like, don't talk about image. Don't show your body. Don't look at your body, that's prideful, or don't take care of your body or talk about it because that's selfish. When it's like, okay, wait, actually God gave us one body to take care of and steward. Like, this is literally the only body I get. Like, so I could go deep in that. Obviously, I've thought a lot through it, and I'm in the health industry because I want people to take care of their bodies, not for the sake of like, you can have a hot husband or a hot wife, but it's like for the sake of like stewarding what we have so we can live as long as we can to serve those around us and our families. But with that, I think I've had to really battle with like my mindset and my inner world. And I think I just thought eventually I'll have this like hot boyfriend husband that will make me look good and make me feel better about myself if I really dumb it down, like really raw and honest. And then I realized like that's not gonna make me feel insecure. Like, I would date guys that were like cute or whatever, and I'd still feel insecure. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that's not gonna be enough, is like their words or their affirmation. It has to come from God, and it has to come from me believing who God says I am. And so that's
Yeah.
the journey I've been on, is like really believing, like, who does God say I am? Like, that I'm loved, I'm valuable, I'm beautiful. And really, I can't put that on another human to affirm me. And I think God uses those who we date to like affirm our beauty and our worth, but that it's not enough. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it has to be from God and like you believing it. And it's just like a bonus. Like, if I, when I'm dating a guy and he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." Like, that's awesome. But I'm not like craving that, or like, if they don't say it, then I'm, whatever. And so really owning, like, no, I am attractive and I am desirable and wanted. And with whoever you date, it's like very sweet to have that connection. And you do want to feel attracted to them and you want to be attracted to them. So I get that. That's like very normal. But I think one of the most attractive things, like I was saying about Andrea, is like when you own who you are and are confident and work through your insecurities. Because I think insecurities are going to pop up throughout your whole life. Like, it just does in different stages. A lot of my mom friends are dealing with insecurities in their bodies right now because they're like, what the heck just happened to my body? I just had a baby and I've got this shelf from my C-section on my belly. Like, what the heck? And so they're having to deal through different things of insecurity, of like, our bodies change throughout life. And like, how do we like own and love ourselves in every season? And so I think as women, we can really help each other out in that way. But yeah, that's something I was thinking about.
Just wanted to say, Lauren, when I first met you, one of my first thoughts of you was, Lauren is so beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, no, she's literally one of the most beautiful people I've ever met.
Stunning. So it's funny, like you said, sometimes the thing that you feel like you struggle with so much or attacked in is it's the thing people actually think about every time they're like, oh wow, she's so beautiful. And it's just funny. You're like, wow.
And I think it's just showing like our worth is not to be in those things. Like, it has to be in God. Cause like, it just has to be in God, because it's like that some guy saying like, you're so beautiful. Like, that's not that's not going to hold you up in confidence fully. Like, that can be fleeting. Like, it has to be. And like who God is. But also it's fun to have your girlfriends pump you up,
Yeah.
We need it.
It works for like 10 minutes. And then the next day you're like, why hasn't anyone called me beautiful today? Like, it's like, it doesn't last. Like, it does make you feel good for a second, but it doesn't
and we
last.
need that. We need encouragement and affirmation. And I hope whoever you're dating, married to, is affirming you, but.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it won't stick. Like, you'll feel like this like endless like black hole, like that's always needing affirmation if you
don't
haven't
owned it.
If you haven't owned it and you haven't gotten to that place inside of yourself with the Lord, like it'll feel like, dang, I tell her she's beautiful every day and she still doesn't believe it. She won't receive it. You're in charge of what you actually get to decide is true or not about yourself. So
and like false humility is prideful, I think. Like, you hating yourself like is actually prideful to me, because you're not accepting who God says you are. You're rejecting who God says you are, which you're valuable, you're loved, you're beautiful, and so that's something I think we all have to grow in.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting good at receiving is also really important. So even if somebody says something to you and you don't actually believe it, work on not dismissing it right away. Just like let them say it and then maybe say like, oh, thank you, or whatever. But I've had a lot of friends that are like, oh gosh, I'm really bad at receiving compliments. And I'm like, well, the person that's suffering is you in that scenario.
It's true.
I'm like, someone is trying to like genuinely love you and you're rejecting it. And that also doesn't feel good on their end. So work on that. So,
yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Dre, did you have one?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think mine is, I've had a few, but one of mine is just like feeling comfortable in my own skin, like just in a room of people. I think with like, I remember when Lauren met me, she like immediately I think you were prophesying, but you're like, there's like an attack on like your voice.
Yeah. You have no issue now.
Now I have a podcast.
Now she's the host of
with
a podcast,
Lauren, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. Anyway, it's just funny to go back to this moment. Like, we didn't know then, sitting in that Starbucks with 10 other YWAMers, that we're gonna have a podcast one day. That's so funny. But yeah, I think I was the new kid like a few different times growing up, and so I think I just had this mentality of like, people don't really want to get to know me, they don't really want to talk to me, like, because you, as the new kid, I think you feel like you're always having to break into like cliques that have already formed, which is just hard to do in general. And so that was like a huge one that I worked through, was just kind of flipping the script on that, as cliched as it is, and being like, actually, no, people do want to talk to me. Like, people do want to get to know me, and people that I've never talked to before are open to talking to me. And the more I like just decided that I was going to be really intentional about my thoughts around those, it was crazy how many people actually did want to talk to me. Like,
Yeah.
it kind of changed everything. It was pretty wild. So that's probably the most significant like insecurity I've seen change. But I also like, I started writing blog posts. Like, I started putting myself out there in a way that I never, like, I was terrified to do before. And I think I was afraid of like being seen. But then I was just like, this sucks. Like, not ever being seen or known by people sucks way more than just like taking the risk. So yeah, I feel like just inviting people to see me and like being vulnerable and putting myself out there has been like a huge thing that honestly has probably been like the last 15 years. But it is like really incredible. Well, and then you start to notice like other people who do it as well. Like, we all love Kat Stickler.
Yes.
On Instagram, she's like so funny. But she's so like, she's just like herself, and she's just so vulnerable, and it actually invites people in. Like, I always thought like, no, it makes you look weak, and people don't want to be friends with weak people or whatever. I don't know what my narrative was, but I'm like, no, actually, like, if you're soft, like, it softens people. So anyway, yeah, that is the one that came to mind. But I also wanted to talk about, I wanted to tell my story from this week, because I feel like I like, I don't know. I do think I'm beautiful, but I do think sometimes when you're single and you just feel like so single, you feel like a guy hasn't looked at you in like months. Sometimes you are just like, God, like, help me out, that's what you need to do, go to him. But I was having a moment before the Lord, and later that day I went to the chiropractor, and I was sitting in the waiting room, and this little 10-year-old girl was like, excuse me. And I'm like, look up at her, like, yeah. She's like, I don't want to interrupt, but like, you're so pretty.
Yes.
And I just melted. I just melted. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. That is so sweet. So, I don't know. And honestly, the biggest part of that wasn't even like the compliment. It was like God being like, I see you, And so,
And 10-year-olds are honest.
that's what I love about them.
Like,
yeah.
they don't lie. They're gonna tell you what's real.
Yeah. It's true. Then we had a great conversation. But anyway, that's, I guess, to kind of leave you with some ending thoughts, which you guys can also do this. Like, the place to take your insecurities is God. Because he's the only one who can really tell you the truth. Like, he's the one who created you and designed you from the very beginning, and everything was intentional. Like, your biggest insecurity, he created you, like, for a reason. Like, I think about that with my height. I'm like, oh, this is the thing I feel like I always have to like try my best to own. But like, before the Lord, I'm like, you made me this way. Like, you decided every inch of my height. And so I'm going to trust you more than I trust myself, that you are the creator God and that you don't make things that aren't good, So anyway, yeah. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think with insecurities, I was like thinking of it. I was like, it's like a little monster in you, and you can like feed it. Like, you can keep feeding the insecurity. And one of the ways I've found to get at least acknowledge or dismiss insecurities in dating, especially those that I'm like more like going on multiple dates or they're my boyfriend, is I would like address that insecurity. Like, hey, I'm really struggling with whatever that insecurity is.
Like, you'd bring it to him.
I'd bring it to them. Yeah, I would talk to him just to get out of my head. And sometimes that would like help dissolve it, because they would literally be like, no, like, I'm not worried about that. Like, or da da da, like, and even like my boyfriend, he brought up an insecurity a couple months ago. He's like, hey, I'm insecure, Lauren, about this situation. And I was able to speak into it and be like, no, like, I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm never, da da da. And we were able to talk about it, and it's not even an insecurity in his head anymore. Like, it's gone. It got dissolved. So
That's
sometimes
good.
just bringing them out is like really just exposing the insecurity. And then there's lifelong insecurities that you have to just go after. And I think what people do is let the insecurity rule you and just be like, we're best buddies. I'm going to keep feeding this insecure monster. And I'm like, you have to like attack it. And for me, one of my insecurities was always like public speaking, and I would get anxiety attacks. And
which
these
is
past
crazy
couple
because you're
years,
so good at it.
She's so good.
The way that I go against this monster of anxiety when it comes to public speaking, which is an insecurity, because I'm like, what the heck? Like, why can't I do this? Is like, I public speak as much as I can. I coach, I like, this podcast, whatever, just to keep going after that insecurity or that weakness in me. And so I think you have to face it head on and be like, no, this isn't going to be my narrative forever. Or if it is, like, I'm not going to let it hold me back from the life and the relationships that I want to have. And insecurities can really hurt your dating relationship. And so if you see it hurting your dating relationship, talk about it with who you're dating and see like how you can address it. They're not responsible for fixing your insecurities.
It's good.
But like, they can be a part of like helping you get free of that. And then if there's someone you're dating that's making you insecure all the time and belittling you, then maybe you should leave that relationship.
Yeah.
A relationship where they made me feel insecure all the time because of the way that they treated me. And I realized, it's not that I don't have like a healthy dose of confidence. It's like they're belittling me. And so that's like a relationship you need to get out of. If they're putting you down. And it's like, especially if you're like a healthy, confident human and you feel insecure for some reason all the time in that relationship, and you've talked through a lot of stuff and you still feel insecure, then it's like, it might just be an unhealthy relationship that you don't need to be a part of. So figuring out where it's like unhealthy dynamics versus like, this is just stuff that you need to own and like figure out. And sometimes that person dating can help you with it. And sometimes it's like between you and God. So yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, we all have insecurities. And if you don't have any now, they'll come up later. It's just inevitable. We're all human. We all have strengths, weaknesses, and like, there's so many phases of a relationship. Like, you're first dating, there's marriage, there's kids. So at some point in your life, you're going to experience probably multiple insecurities. And so I think when those come up, have compassion on yourself, because we all have them. And I love what Lauren and Andrea said about like, go to the Lord, go to the person that you're with, because both of those, obviously the Lord for sure, but both of those should be safe spaces to go to and to just be like, hey, this is where I'm at and this is where I'm struggling. And like, let the Lord be the one that fills you, but also let like the person you're with like speak into that area and be a source of life for you, and or be able to just help you like figure out how to move through it. But yeah, just we all have them and it's okay. And just face them. Like I love what Lauren said about facing your insecurities instead of letting them define you, or like I said, actually like avoiding every area I'm insecure in. Then you're just going to live a really limited life. So face them, and you're really brave. Like, way to go. Because a lot of people do just avoid insecurity or fill themselves with other things to distract from what's really going on. So you got this. Yeah.
You got this. Yeah, I was gonna share one more thing.
Do it.
Yeah,
I was coming in at the end with one more thing, but the Stumballs, Abby and Justin Stumball, whom we love, Abby gave this illustration of like your self-worth is kind of like, I think it was like a ball or something, and she's like, sometimes we can go up to someone and like chuck our self-worth at them and ask them a question or like bring something up where you know, we're like waiting for them to tell us like if we're valuable or if we're enough. And she says that's a lot to put on someone, like and they might be answering your question not realizing like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you handed me like your self-worth in that moment. Like,
yeah, that's good.
And so the challenge is like to don't make someone else that powerful. Like, you are the one that's in charge of your self-worth and making sure that you have that like anchored in the Lord. And it's too much responsibility to put on everyone around you to make you feel like you're worthy or feel like you're enough or feel like you're loved. Like you know, people, like we've said, people can be part of that healing process and people can encourage you when you need it for sure. But the grunt work needs to be between you and the Lord. So yeah,
that's good.
So good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, thanks for joining me. If I could just say, you're both stunning and so fun to hang out with.
A blast, you could say.
A whirlwind, I would say.
A whirlwind. And I love both of you so much, and I can't believe either of you have any insecurities, but thank you for being vulnerable with the people of the pod.
Happy to tell our crap.
Love the nose wipe at the end.
It tickled. For some reason it kind of tickled. So
whoa, those nails.
Yeah. Whoa. Wait, what was the name of those again, Lauren? Your nail polish?
It was like, what was it called?
It was called inappropriate.
Charged cherry lip.
Nail polish. Yeah.
Charged cherry lip nail polish. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa.
So very confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with that nail polish.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's a nice pink if anyone's interested. So
OPI. Always
Target near you.
Man, we just become makeup tutorials, even though the three of us hardly wear that much makeup.
It's true. Yeah.
So anyways.
Oh man. Okay. Well, if you tuned in, thanks for listening. We love you and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.